Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Harvard Divinity School overview. We're absolutely thrilled that you're interested in exploring more about Harvard Divinity School and the degree programs that we offer. Today's presentation is going to just provide you a brief overview of HDS, our degree programs, our student and faculty, as well as a little bit about the application and financial aid here at HDS. You'll have a lot of opportunities this fall to be able to join us at a wide variety of different events, and always feel free to reach out to us via email. My name is Margaret Okada-Sheck. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions here at HDS, and I'm thrilled to be joined today by my colleague, John.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Okay, so we're going to turn off our cameras for right now, and um, we will get started. So, Harvard Divinity School was founded in 1816 and is the first divinity school in the United States and has the most religiously pluralistic community in the world. HDS educates students in the academic study of religion in preparation for ethical leadership, religious literacy, and service-oriented, mission-driven work. Our vision is to provide an intellectual home where scholars from around the globe teach varieties of religion in service of a just world at peace. I'm going to turn it over to John to be able to share a little bit more about our academic programs.
Thanks, Margaret. So Harvard Divinity School offers challenging and rewarding immersion in the world's faith traditions, religious studies, and theological subjects. We offer 4 degree programs and 1 non-degree program, each with their own requirements and offerings to align with diverse educational and vocational goals. So the first degree program we'll talk about today is the Master of Divinity, known as the MDiv. The 3-year MDiv program is for 21st century spiritual leaders. It offers education in the world's major traditions: Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, and humanism. We think of ministry, it broadly conceived, if you think about it as a lowercase m, which we define sometimes as a call to service, commitment to interreligious dialogue and understanding. While the MDiv's focus on ministry is required for ordination in a faith tradition or for chaplaincy work, the vast majority of MDiv graduates pursue careers in service-oriented work where ethical leadership and interfaith competency would be an asset. And we'll talk about some of those roles later on when we talk about alumni. Approximately 28% of MDiv graduates go on to complete additional graduate degrees, which are primarily doctorates in religion, but also include seminary-based master's degrees or other degrees in education, social work, public health, and law. In the MDiv, students learn the arts of ministry, which include preaching, pastoral care, and community organizing, and link theory and practice with fieldwork placements in settings around the globe. HDS offers more than 100 possible options for fieldwork. Those are on our website. There's also an option for what's called a student-initiated placement if a student wants to set up their fieldwork at a place that's not listed on that list, and that's done in consultation with the Office of Ministry Studies. Very quickly, by the numbers for this degree, this is a 3-year full-time degree program. There are three required courses for the Master of Divinity. There are 2 required field education placements, and there is 1 language requirement. The MDiv is eligible for generous need-based and merit-based financial aid as well. So our next degree program is the Master of Theological Studies, known as the MTS. Excuse me. The MTS enables students to deeply and broadly engage with the languages, literature, normative claims, practices, and structures of a variety of theological fields and religious traditions. The versatile 2-year MTS degree offers broad study in religion. We have 19 areas of focus, which allow for diverse educational interests and vocational outcomes, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. Students in the MTS often enroll to prepare for a doctoral program in religion or related discipline, or to approach another field or profession such as law, journalism, public policy, education, arts, or medicine from a perspective enriched by theological study. Again, by the numbers, this is a 2-year full-time degree. 6 courses are required in the area of focus that you choose when you're applying to the MTS. 3 courses, however, are outside of that area of focus to give you a very broad range of study. There's 1 required class for the Master of Theological Studies, and there is the language requirement as well. And as with the MDiv, the MTS offers generous need-based and merit-based financial aid as well. So our next degree program is the Master of Theology, the THM, not to be confused with the MTS, the Master of Theological Studies. The THM is really intended for those who already have completed a Master of Divinity degree or its equivalent, 3 years of graduate theological study, and who seek to pursue a new direction or advance their understanding of a particular area of study. It is also best undertaken by those individuals who have been doing ministry out in the world, again, broadly defined with a small m, and are now interested in exploring a topic in great depth to clarify their thinking or delve into a new topic that impacts their ministry, however that might look like. It is not designed to be the 4th year of an MDiv or as a year of further doctoral program preparation. And just by the numbers, this again is a 1-year full-time degree program, 4 courses in an area of focus, as the same with the MTS, choosing an area of focus. There are 4 elective courses, 1 language requirement, as with the other programs, and an oral examination required for the THM. It's important to note that unlike the MDiv and the MTS, the THM is not eligible for institutional grant aid, and only federal loans are available for financial aid for the THM program. I've been talking a little bit about areas of focus, so we'll talk about them in a little more detail here. There are 19 areas of focus that cover a broad variety of different topics. Students do also have the opportunity to design their own area of focus in consultation with an advisor and with the curriculum committee chair if one of these 19 don't cover what they're seeking to study. But most applicants are interested in more than one area of focus, and it's easy to change your initial selection once you're at HDS if you realize another area of focus makes more sense. So for example, students studying Buddhist studies also engage with South and Southeast Asian religious traditions, comparative studies, East Asian religions, and or gender, sexuality, and religion. Many courses also apply to more than one area of focus, so it's very versatile. MTS applicants are required to declare that during the application process, and MDiv applicants do not formally declare an area of focus or a faith tradition during the application process. Our last degree program is the Master of Religion in Public Life, known as the MRPL. The Master of Religion in Public Life degree is a 1-year graduate degree program designed for experienced professionals in primarily, but not exclusively, secular arenas whose work is focused on having a positive social impact and who are inspired by a vision of just peace. The degree provides an opportunity for journalists, government officials, humanitarian aid workers, educators, artists, healthcare professionals, business people, lawyers, and other practitioners to develop in-depth knowledge of the complex ways religion influences public life relevant to their arenas in ways that will advance their own vocational aims. Specifically, the MRPL degree allows professionals to gain advanced knowledge about religion through coursework, a shared seminar, and a final project that will contribute to deepening understanding of religion within their fields. Critically, the MRPL does require a project proposal along with other application components. We'll quickly also mention that MDiv and MTS students can engage with religion and public life at HDS via the Certificate in Religion and Public Life, engaged in mentoring, experiential learning, and a final project. As with the MRPL, CRPL students explore the challenges that arise when a nuanced understanding of religion is employed within a particular professional or vocational focus, such as those mentioned earlier. It is designed to prepare MDiv and MTS graduates with the tools, skills, and experience to explore professional pathways outside of traditional ministry or academic scholarship. The MRPL, just by the numbers, is a 1-year full-time degree program with 2 required courses. As mentioned, there is a final project requirement, and there's an oral examination or a public presentation required as a condition of the program. And as with the THM, please note that the MRPL is not eligible for institutional grant aid and federal loans are the only funding available. Finally, we have our one non-degree program, which is the Special Students Program. The Special Students Program is a one-time opportunity for non-degree students to do coursework at Harvard Divinity School. Students receive full credit for work completed in this program and may transfer these credits towards completion of an HDS degree. And the application requirements are the same as those for the MDiv and MTS degrees, except there is no required writing sample for a special student application. Special student might be a good option for someone whose academic record doesn't match what their abilities are, or for someone who's looking to make a career change and wishes to bolster their application before applying to a degree program at HDS. Special students can take up to 8 courses in up to 2 years for academic credit and pay on a per course basis. And again, the application is identical as our other degree programs, but it does not require a writing sample. That's our 4 degree programs and our 1 non-degree program. I'm going to turn it back over to my colleague, Margaret, to tell you a little bit more about HDS in depth.
Thanks so much, John. I am so thrilled to be able to talk about, now that you've learned more about our degree programs, I'm excited to talk about our outstanding faculty. Our faculty are incredibly world-renowned in all of their different disciplines. As you'll see by the numbers, women faculty and faculty of color make up 58% of all faculty, and 42% specialize in non-Christian traditions. Students would really find deep knowledge in all of the world's religions, truly creating an incredibly dynamic learning environment through which students are able to share their own faith traditions and learn from others. We have over 80 research professors, visitors, visiting faculty, and other instructors, 11 denominational counselors that support our students primarily, especially those that are seeking ordination, but in other areas as well. And we really have strength in all the 5 of the major world religious traditions. Our students are able to really have access to an incredibly flexible curriculum. It's said that for HDS students, there's no 2 students that have the same transcript, and you'll find that is true every single year. We have over 200 courses every year here at Harvard Divinity School, and students would be able to take up to 50%, half of your classes outside of HDS. That includes across Harvard University and our 8 other graduate schools. So if you're really excited about taking classes in, the Department of English or the Department of History, or Middle East, Near East Languages and Civilizations, or East Asian Languages and Civilizations, or at Harvard Kennedy School of Government, or Harvard Law School, Harvard Business School, Harvard Chan School of Public Health, Harvard Graduate School of Design, Harvard Graduate School of Education, you would be able to do so. You'd also be able to cross-register within the 10 schools and departments that are associated with the Boston Theological Interreligious Consortium. This is a really phenomenal resource to really highlighting the strength of the Boston area Boston and Cambridge area to pursue academic training, because we are rich in educational institutions. So you can cross-register at Boston College or Boston University. You can, Hebrew College, Holy Cross. There's so many different institutions within the BTI. They also provide certificates that students would at HDS would be able to pursue, just like the Certificate of Religion and Public Life. This is extra. I mean, would be included in your coursework, sorry, and would be on your transcripts, which is cool. And then within HDS itself, you would have access to the 6 programs and centers and the activities and faculty and research that's associated. So that includes the Women's Study in Religion program, the program on evolution of spiritualities, the Center for the Study of World Religions, and so on and so forth. So it's really such a dynamic place to pursue your academic training, your academic exploration, and to tailor it to your sort of specific goals. And so now that I've talked about the faculty, I want to talk a little bit about the community at HDS. So this is the incoming class profile for fall of 2024. So this data is pretty fresh. Our students are in orientation now, so it's exciting to be able to see. We brought in 92 MTS and 48 MDivs, so that's sort of pretty common year over year. 10 in the MRPL program and 1 special student. These programs tend to be on the smaller side. This year, we happen to not bring a Master of Theology student, but that changes year over year. Again, you'll see we have 34 religious traditions just represented in 1 incoming class. Across HDS, you probably have more than 40, really going in on the religiously pluralistic environment that you would find here. In terms of gender, you would find the majority of 52%, a slight majority, are women, 34% are men, and 14 are other genders. And I would like to highlight in particular the undergraduate institutions. We have 114 undergraduate institutions represented, meaning our students come from institutions and academic backgrounds from around the country and around the world, really bringing the diversity of academic training with them to the classroom. You'll find our age range with our incoming class is 21 to 66, but year over year that does change, and we see older students, students in middle careers are trying out different pathways, and so we definitely see that, as well as students straight from undergrad. In terms of student life, you would find an incredibly rich one here at HDS. Students are not only learning in the classroom, there's a lot of other opportunities. There are 3 student-run publications, including the Graduate Journal of HDS, Reconstructed Magazines, and Peripheries. There are 2 staple HDS-wide weekly events that happen all year, academic year long. The first is noon service, which is held every Wednesday at noon on campus. And this is hosted by a different student group. So it could be the HDS Methodist one week to the HDS Muslims another week. It could be movement chaplaincy, a student organization, or the garden club, or even the staff host one once a year. And then there's also community tea, which is held every Tuesday afternoon. And this is a fantastic opportunity for students to gather over food informally, just getting some food and sharing community with one another. It's always catered by a local restaurant, which I really love. So you get to try different types of cuisines that you would find at different restaurants around the area. Students are also able to join in groups across Harvard University, so it's not just here at HDS. At HDS, you'll find a lot, but we are just part of this wonderful wider network, and students are really able to find community across the institution and really engage with one another. At HDS, you'll find over 40 student organizations. And really, if you don't find one that you like, you can absolutely start one. It is really easy. You just need you and one other person to start a student organization. And they change year over year because the students who are here change. And it's really wonderful, the kind of different types. You can have one that's based on, reading Harry Potter as a sacred text is one that's been ongoing. But then, I've seen a Lindy Hop student club or a running club. So it's, really represent a wide variety of different interests. I think there's a beekeeping club too. Again, you'll find over 40 religious traditions represented. Again, the religiously pluralistic institution that we are. Every year we have over 60 student-led special events, and these are all student-led based on the energy and interest of our student body. And you'll find over 500 recurring worship services, social gathering, workshops, and group meetings. Um, and also just wanted to share the students that I have spoken to have all remarked on what a remarkably non-competitive environment it is here at HDS, that people have just such a diversity of goals as well. And so it feels less stressful than maybe some other institutions might be. And now that we've talked about the faculty and the students, I want to pass it over to John, who's going to speak about our alumni.
Thanks, Margaret. So we mentioned a little bit about alumni earlier, but we'll go into some detail here. So key figure in Alumni Relations is going to be the Office of Career Services. And OCS starts working with students while they are currently enrolled at HDS and offers extensive resources and support for current students and alumni to reach their vocational and professional goals. So while at HDS, students can sign up for resume help, credentialing strategies, professional planning, networking assistance, interview preparation, coaching, and much more. One of the most important resources offered by the Office of Career Services is the HDS Alumni Career Stories and Advice Video Library, which is a collection that features interviews with more than 200 alumni across more than 500 videos that highlight an impressive array of HDS graduate careers. More data can be found on the OCS website, which is under Community Life on our main site. But some important figures to note about alumni outgrowth are that for those graduates employed 1 year out from their degree, 22% were employed in education, college, or university teaching or research. 17% went into ordained ministry, and 9% went into education at the secondary level. Approximately 28% of MDiv graduates went on to complete additional graduate degrees, again, primarily doctorates in religion, but also seminary-based masters or masters in education, social work, public health, and law. 62% of MTS graduates reported advanced degrees. 27% of MTS graduates have earned doctorates, primarily in religious or theological studies, with others earning seminary-based masters or degrees in medicine, law, social work, business, or public health. 53% of responding graduates with MDiv degrees reported entering ministerial vocations, including ordained orders, lay ministry, and chaplaincy. 23% of MDiv graduates entered the education sector as represented by secondary school teaching, university teaching, and university administration. Approximately half of MTS graduates, 47%, work in the education sector, primarily university teaching and administration, but also secondary school teaching and administration as well. Another 34% of MTS graduates are medical, legal, and management professionals employed in nonprofits, the public sector, healthcare, human services, and writing or communications. And on the slide, you can see a variety of different career outcomes, vocational outcomes for HDS graduates. We're going to go into a little bit more detail with a couple profiles from recent graduates on the next couple of screens. So we're going to start with John Carmadella, MRPL graduate in 22. Pre or before HDS, John studied history at Illinois Wesleyan and has taught at a large public high school near Chicago since 2003. His focus at HDS developed a comprehensive religious literacy training program for public school administrators and education leaders. As to why HDS, the structure and flexibility of the MRPL allowed him to take a 1-year sabbatical, and the professors were outstanding. After HDS, John returned to his classroom and is now training public high school leaders and offering graduate courses in religious studies designed for educators. Our next Our next graduate is Kalpana Jain, graduated MTS in 17. Before HDS, was a journalist with the Times of India, covering public health, including HIV/AIDS. Was also a Nieman Fellow at Harvard. While at HDS, her focus was on South Asian traditions. Why HDS? Wanted to read Indian religious texts on gender, also interested in the politics of Hindu nationalism, and took an informative class on Jainism. After HDS, she is a senior ethics and religion editor at The Conversation and director of the Global Religion Journalism Initiative to build good religion journalism. Next up, as mentioned by Margaret earlier, is Vanessa Zolen, MDiv, graduated in 2015. Before HDS, BA in English Literature and minor in Creative Writing from Wesleyan University, St. Louis. Worked as a teacher in an education nonprofit before coming to HDS at 30 years old. Focus at HDS. She wanted to be a hospital chaplain, but didn't wind up doing much of that, and hosted Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast, as we talked about a little earlier. Why HDS? It felt like the only place she could learn to be a chaplain as an atheist. After HDS, Vanessa runs a small company called Not Sorry Productions, focused on treating secular things as though they were sacred. Our last profile is from Stephen Salido Fisher, MDiv, graduated in 2021. Before HDS, Stephen worked in disaster response for the Red Cross of Alaska, where he met a state trooper chaplain. While at HDS, his focus was on hospital chaplaincy. So why HDS? Generous financial aid, and was mesmerized by the breadth of interests, identities, and life stories among the student body. After HDS, Stephen took up beekeeping professionally, then a clinical pastoral education residency at Rush University Medical Center in Chicago. Today, he works as a campaign writer for a faith-based environmental nonprofit. So that gives you a little bit of a selection of what some of our graduates have gone on to do. But we're going to go all the way back to the beginning and talk about the application process itself. And to do that, I'm going to turn that back over to my colleague, Margaret.
Thanks so much, John. So I hope you got really excited about HDS, our degree programs, the kind of students that we have here, and the alumni outcomes. And so now I want to talk a little bit about the application process. The application for admission will be published in early to mid-September of 2024, and the deadline will be January 9th. So on the bottom is the timeline. Just want to be clear. We'll open up the application pretty in the next few weeks, and then the application deadline will be January 9th. In late January, early February, folks will get emails from the Office of Financial Aid, particularly those that are applying to the MTS and MDiv programs, the Master of Theological Studies and Master of Divinity. Please do fill out the HDS financial aid application. You'll get information about that in January. The deadline will be about a month after that. We'll also be extending interviews, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, but that timeline will be also around late January to end February. And then we release all admissions decisions in mid-March of 2025. The application is pretty straightforward. We are offering, it's an application form. You'll please provide a statement of purpose, which really provides the explanation of who you are and what your goals are as to why you want to come here at HDS. We ask for a resume, really brief highlights of your professional academic life. And this is also a great place to place information about awards, or also how you've spent your time if you've been caregiving or have other sort of duties that have taken a lot of your time. We also ask for all of your unofficial academic transcripts from every post-secondary institution you have attended. We'll ask for 3 letters of recommendation. These are we ask for folks to ask people who know you well and can attest to your academic abilities as related to the graduate study of religion. If it's been quite some time since you've been in a classroom environment, This is something you can get really creative. Perhaps you can ask a former supervisor or mentor to speak about your skills and abilities as they would relate to a graduate program in the study of religion. So particularly any writing or research or critical analysis you have done in a professional way, that would be great for somebody to attest that about you. We require a writing sample for our degree programs. As John mentioned earlier, the special student non-degree program does not require writing sample, but this is really an abbreviated work. We're asking only 1,500 words to really provide just a snapshot of your writing abilities in preferably in an academic environment related to the study of religion. If English is not your native language, or you did not attend a bachelor's degree institution from where English is the sole medium of instruction, we would require the TOEFL or IELTS. Those requirements are straight on the website as well as in the application. Feel free to email us if you have any other questions regarding that. For MRPL applicants to the Master of Religion and Public Life, we also ask additional information about your project proposal. Particularly, what HDS faculty are you excited to work with? What do you believe is the scope of the work and how is it in alignment with the work that we do here in the RPL program? And as mentioned, also, we do require an interview for admission to our degree programs. These interviews are only done by invitation, and those invitations go out in late January and February. Um, uh, we ask folks to be patient with us as we go through the process. We know it takes a long time, but we are really taking care. We really review each application holistically. We look at every single component of an application in order to select every class every year. And now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague John to talk about institutional grant aid.
Thank you, Margaret. So we've talked a little bit about this previously. Institutional grant aid is available for the MTS and MDiv programs. It's also important to note that the application process itself is need blind. So our office has no information on an applicant's financial circumstances during an application review. So institutional grant aid, again, available for the MTS and MDiv programs. It takes the form of need-based and merit aid. Need-based aid, 90% of applicants to the MTS and MDiv program receive institutional scholarships. Financial aid application is required. And again, that comes out after the close of the application for admissions. That comes out after that January 9th deadline. Institutional grant aid, need-based aid has 3 levels of need-based aid that covers either 75% of tuition, 100% of tuition, or 100% of tuition plus a $12,000 living expense stipend. Institutional grant aid announcements come out about 24 hours after decision release in mid-March. The other form of institutional grant aid is merit aid. There's a much smaller pool of merit aid that is awarded to MTS and MDiv candidates based on the overall strength of the application. So 10% of that 90% figure receive merit aid. Consideration is automatically evaluated by the admissions committee during the application review process. And merit awards generally include a full tuition grant and a modest stipend, which ranges between $12,000 and $20,000. Somewhat differently than the need-based aid decision release, merit award decisions are released by the committee at the point of admission and are final. So we do go forward with our best offer, and merit decisions are released at the same time as admission decisions are released. So that'd be in mid-March. And that application again goes out shortly after the application deadline and January 9th. With that, we're going to close out for the day. I'm going to just go over a couple of ways for you to stay connected and learn more about HDS and stay up to date on different things that are happening here, informational events, on-campus opportunities, ways to chat with admissions or with our current students. You can see up there in the corner that QR code that will take you directly to our HDS Connect form. If you haven't already done so, we strongly encourage you to fill that out and submit it so you can receive notifications when the application goes live in a little bit and when we host new informational sessions, both virtual sessions and in-person events on the HDS campus. If you have more questions for our office, we always encourage prospective students to reach out to us directly at admissions@hds.harvard.edu. Ask any questions you wish. We'll get back to you with as much information as we can. If you're looking to speak with a current student, you can submit an email to the ask_students@hds.harvard.edu. That will put you in touch with one of our graduate assistants in the admissions office. And this is especially good for questions about student life or the student experience at HDS. You can also learn more about HDS and those topics at our HDS Admissions blog, which can be found right there, hdsadmissionsblog.com. And we encourage you to follow us on Instagram at Harvard Divinity. With that, I'd like to thank my colleague, Margaret Okada-Sheck, for her gracious help today with this presentation. Again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to our office, and we look forward to reviewing your applications this fall. Hope you all have a nice day. And we encourage